The book, A Song for Zipporah, written by David Harris, is a powerful historical fiction centering around the life and character of Moses' future wife Zipporah before they met. Book author David Harris brings the reader into the relationship between Moses and Zipporah, which was gradual and lush. The story unfolds beautifully when Moses finally asks Zipporah to marry him. Purchase your copy of the book detailing this authentic story, A Song for Zipporah by David Harris today. It's available online at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is a founding sponsor for Da Crew podcast. Get featured inside the magazine and allow your voice to be heard around the world.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is an international magazine founded in May of 2020 by Queen Angela. Get featured.
At Wings of Transformation Publishing, we are committed to helping our authors reach their goals and pursue their dreams of becoming published authors. We work closely with each author to ensure a successful publishing experience, and we are dedicated to helping them tell their stories in the most meaningful and impactful ways. We look forward to putting you on the path to writing your book.
Hey, and welcome to the Crew Podcast. We are the hottest podcast rocking right now. We are currently looking for 6 amazing hosts to join our family for season 2 that will kick off February the 1st, 2024. If you're looking for an opportunity to allow your voice, your perspective, and your brand to be heard around the world and seen around the world, then join the Crew Podcast. Hey, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Crew Podcast. Of course, I am the visionary Queen Angela. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all, it's winding up, it's winding down. We are finishing up season 1 of the Crew Podcast, and I want to thank everyone that has been supporting us since February. Y'all, we getting ready to close out a great year. And I just wanted to thank you guys. Want to wish you a happy holiday and be safe. If you're going to be traveling, be safe. Know that we over here at the Crew Podcast, we're yet going to be working. We're yet going to be providing content. Those of us that are scheduled to do shows, we're yet going to be working. Matter of fact, I will be live on Christmas Day, bringing you guys some individuals from TDCJ. Of course, that is continue, and then I will be bringing you guys some interviews from those that are incarcerated within TDCJ. I think I'm going to have 6 individuals on Monday because it's a holiday. I want to give them an opportunity to share and let them know that they are being thought about during these holiday seasons. Also, if you're out there, if you are a male and you are a mentor, you are a coach, you got positive things going on, you got a positive mindset, and you're ready to encourage someone else, empower someone else, uplift someone else, it is your turn. It is your turn. Y'all, it's been laid on my heart to go ahead and allow these men to share inside of Kings. You are not forgotten. So y'all know we brought the women's edition. So now we have the King's edition. So if you're out there, we want you guys to go ahead and get involved. I tell you, y'all know it's not much to be a part of my anthologies. So you're not gonna break the bank. You get an opportunity to share and be a voice, be a light to someone that may be struggling, maybe in a dark place. So that's what we're doing. My guest for tonight has arrived. I see our newest host is in the queue. So thank you for joining in tonight. Y'all, I'm excited about season 2. We're going to have some new hosts that we're going to be presenting to you guys. Shanette Johnson is going to be one of our hosts. She's going to be doing, bringing a lot of enlightenment and insight on wrongful convictions because she currently has a husband that's wrongfully convicted out in Colorado. Um, so she's going to be sharing her journey. She's going to be bringing individuals on to talk about their journey. And I'm excited because those that follow me and support me know that I too am a advocate. Of course, I have to give credit to Chinchilla J over on the network that I am a part of because she goes hard. And just listening to her over the last 3 or 4 years, it's just touched my heart. But I'm gonna move out the way, y'all. I hope this have given you guys an opportunity to share this out in your circle. Make sure that you tag someone that may need this information that's going to go forth on tonight. Again, for those that do not know who I am affectionately known as the Queen of Collaboration across these social media streets. But I am Angela Thomas. I am an author, motivational speaker, life coach, self-publishing coach, you name it, I do it. I'm just out here just trying to be the change that I desire to see in this world. That's my motto and that's what I'm sticking to. But yeah, I'm gonna move on out the way and allow my guest to come up and allow him to introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bryce Todd
Welcome, welcome, welcome,
Jones.
welcome, welcome. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing well, Sister Angela. How about yourself?
I'm sorry, I had muted myself. I'm doing great. I can't complain.
All right.
For
Well,
those
yeah.
that don't know who you are, if you would please, introduce yourself, so those that are tuned in that may not know who you are will get an opportunity to find out a little bit about you.
All right. Well, yeah, like I say, my name is Bryce Todd Jones. I am the owner of Strategic Parole Solutions, owner of Parole New Magazine. And what I do is primarily I have a small national magazine that I have subscribers to around the nation. I send it out bi-monthly. And when it comes to strategic, what I do is I help men and women in the state of Texas come home on parole. At the moment, I have a really successful small business with that, and it keeps me busy. As you know, I've also written a couple of books. This is my opportunity, right, Sister Angela? This is my opportunity. I've written a couple of books. We've got the Blueprint for Perfect Lemonade. It was some information that I gathered in from taking some songs from Jay-Z and Beyonce, but I do have a new issue of that coming out, a new publication. And I've also written a book called The Message to Every Prisoner in America. And this message is not only to the men and women that's incarcerated, my brothers and sisters that I left behind. Several years ago, I was there. And I was in and out of jail, in and out of facilities called ISF, in and out of prison. I did that repetitively. every time I'd get out, 3 months, 4 months later, I was either in jail, ISF. 6, 7, 8 months later, I was on my way back to prison, not because of a new offense or whatnot, just because of parole violations and those type of things. But in 2008, 2009, I made up my mind that I was finished. I had saw too many people in our community whose families had been decimated by the criminal injustice system. And I knew that it was time for me to make that change. And I did that.
I muted myself. I keep muting myself because I heard some feedback, so I had muted myself. But I wow. I know that you are an author. You said you have 2 books. You said the blueprint for
Perfect
every
Lemonade.
man
The
in
blueprint.
America.
Yeah, the blueprint
Correct.
for Perfect Lemonade. Let me put that back up for you, Queen Angela. The blueprint for Perfect Lemonade. Yeah. It's the messages that I learned from Jay and Bay. Okay. I put this out in 2018. It did great inside the system because that's who I really wanted to get it out to. I wanted to be able to inspire, not necessarily motivate. Motivation is something that wears off, rather quickly. And of course, inspiration is something that comes from deep down inside. It's a spiritual thing. And so I wanted to be able to inspire men and women that much like Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you can do better. And I wanted to inspire the incarcerated men and women population that we have, that we can do better. We can do better. A lot of, much like one of your mottos, be the change that you want to see. Okay. And so with me, that's what it was. I wanted to be the change that I wanted to see. We have a lot of things going on in the criminal injustice system, and it's going to take some work. It's going to take some work. But I always tell my guys, I always tell them that the change is going to happen from the inside. It's going to happen with the men and women that's incarcerated. Once they started pushing things forward, the families will catch on. The families are actually waiting on the men and women inside to make that movement. That's what they're waiting on. And then you asked me about the other one, a message to every prisoner in America. Okay. And this particular book here in the state of Texas, it's banned in its prison system. I was able to probably get, I think we maybe got 200, 210, 215 copies on the inside. And then after the administration saw the information that I was releasing to the incarcerated population, they banned the magazine. There's been no other state prison agency, the federal prison, no one else has banned this particular book, but the state of Texas has. And of course, you know why. You know why. You understand that's the reason.
Of course, we know why Texas do. Texas do everything.
Yes.
Because they full of corruption. They
yes.
full of 3 to 4 decades worth of corruption. But you said something that really caught my attention. And Miss Shanette said, yes, we are. But what the thing is with me, I heard you say that it's gonna have to start within. And it's gonna have to start with the guys on the inside. Now, I believe it has started, because there are a lot of them that are tired of what's going on. They're speaking up, they're speaking out. They are not only speaking up and speaking out because the state of Texas truly really don't believe in rehabilitation. These men and women have had to rehabilitate themselves. They've had to come up with programming. They've had to come up with things to rehabilitate themselves and to try to better themselves and to identify who they are. Because a lot of the issue is a lot of these men and women that end up in prison, they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And they struggle with identity. They struggle with trying to fit in. And of course we know as brown people, that's a lot of our issue, because they don't told us this, they don't told us that, and we don't know what to believe, we don't know what to accept, because they don't told us that we should trust and believe in the judicial system, but yet the judicial system put you in prison, and then they lock you out of prison to they lock you in prison till you can't get out.
Right.
So they're the reason why you there, because of all of this foolishness that they do. And then once they get you there, they send you through all these loops and chains and bounds, and you got to do all kind of flips and aerobics, and then you it's like you just bouncing from wall to wall, because these people, and then they sitting back looking and laughing like it's a game, like it's a joke. But that's really what it is with them, because they fighting for power and money.
Yes.
And they could care less about us. It's a time. They don't care if you're innocent or not. And a lot of people that follow me over the last year, we've been interviewing a lot of people. And there's so many people that are incarcerated, and not just in the state of Texas, but all over the United States, that are incarcerated wrongfully and overly incarcerated. I listen to a lot of these gentlemen in the state of Texas. I listen to their stories. I listen to them talk. I listen to them share about their stuff. If they were in another state, half of them wouldn't even be in prison. Half of them would have had time served. Half of them would have been on probation, or they would have been paying fees and restitution. But the state of Texas, I don't get them. Like right now, I don't understand what your governor is doing. And then to the people, and it's going to take more than just the prisoners stepping up. See, they are stepping up, but the family on the outside, they got to step up. They got to do double what the ones behind bars are doing, because not only they got to look out for the ones behind bars, but they got to look out for who they allowing to be in these offices. Because I'm looking at y'all governor. Y'all governor, that man been in office for a long time. I'm looking at some of these judges that's been in place for a long time, that's been putting these people in prison, and then they've been blackballing them and keeping them out. And Lord, I don't even want to talk parole system. I don't even want to talk about the parole system, because I just did a paper on them and got an A on it. Just did a paper on it, did a presentation and got an A on it. I just finished my class. I finished my class with a 97 to be exact. A 97 to be exact. And in the whole class, I talked about that parole board and corruption in the state of Texas. So it's got to be some facts to it. It's got to be some truth to it, because you can't tell me I can get an A in a class on a paper in a presentation of lies. You can't tell me that, because guess what? I had to present what my research, my resources. I had to present everything, and we had to use proper quotations and citations. We couldn't just be throwing stuff out there. So it had to be some truth to all that I reported on. So people need to wake up. People need to wake up. And if you're in the state of Texas, y'all need to wake up. Y'all need to get some of these people out of office that's been in office. And I'm talking about y'all governor, because he ain't making no sense right now. This man just passed a law where he finna violate all these people rights, because now they finna be racially profiling these people. That's what they finna do. So we're gonna put that out there. They finna racially profile all these immigrants, and then the prison already overflowing. You already overflowing. You already understaffed. You saw what happened this weekend out there at Clemens. You already understaffed. You just can't do it. You sending $11 million out of the state of Texas to Mississippi to house some inmates when you need to be looking at your parole. And the statistics say that 60% of people that come up for parole are denied.
That's it.
And the 40 that they are letting out, the 40% that they are letting out, 20% of them come back. And they know that. And they know that because if you look at the pattern, you look at how they are releasing these people. You look at who they releasing.
Yeah.
And how they keep setting out people.
Yeah.
Man, they got serious issues.
Yeah, they got
serious issues. I'm telling you, these people need to wake up. The citizens need to wake up.
Yeah. And so, Angela, what I've been doing, dear sister, is let me show you another thing here. This is the magazine. It's called Parole News. I send out Parole News bi-monthly. I started this publication 3 years ago, and it's been growing, of course, and it's nationwide. I think I'm in about 30 states now with this publication. And what I've been coaching the men and women on doing is uniting. See, back in the late 80s, early 90s, when I was in the system, when it was really the system, when it was TDC, it was a whole different mechanism than it is now. But don't get me wrong, it was the same thing, but it was just a little bit different back then. What the men did was, if it was something that we didn't go for, we stood united. We put all of our differences aside because we understood that we had one common enemy, and that was the system itself. And so what we did was we would unite. And I tell my guys now, look, when you unite, you have to do it in really a nonviolent way. You don't want to do anything that's going to have them calling in different people and then publicizing this and making it look like you guys are acting bad or acting up. And I have to word my publications in a manner that, that speaks to my guys, put it like that. And I do different articles. I don't write everything. Of course, I have my own column in there. Each magazine, I at least put one article in there that I do, and I put articles from other writers about anything that has to do with parole from different states and whatnot like that. But you're exactly right when it comes to Texas. The thing about Texas is, and other states, but I want to focus on Texas here. We have some other states that are just as bad, but not as worse. But the thing about Texas is that when it comes to parole, right now, you were right. We're doing parole is about 38.5, 38.6% right now. That is the expected grant rate of parole in the state of Texas. It's the field that I work in, and I just recently, I was working for an attorney firm as well here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but I just recently got back to my own thing. But here in the state of Texas, they have specific programs. They have at least 3 programs right now that has an 85% success rate. So, but they only allow very bare minimal men and women to participate in these outstanding programs. And so my thing is, I did an article and it was titled about this, but the article, it also spoke about the Nation of Islam. Now, I'm not a Nation of Islam member or anything, but what I'm getting at is this: the success rate of the Nation of Islam, because they've taken a lot of men and a lot of men and women and have totally transformed their lives. And it's very, very few. The numbers are so scant for those who go back into the lifestyle that they once lived. You have to wonder why they are so successful in what they do. And I'm like this: if an organization like that, the Nation of Islam, and we've got programs that have an 85, 86, 87% success rate, why are we not implementing them programs all around for everyone? Let's not pick and choose. If rehabilitation and public safety is the real key, is the real mission statement for these systems, these criminal injustice systems, then why not give everybody the chance at such a program that has such a high success rate? And if you're not doing that, then you're not trying to do any rehabilitation. And like you say, what you're doing is you've got this merry-go-round, and you've got this revolving door, and you know it is. And I tell people all the time that the system is not broken. The system is set up and designed exactly how they want it to function. We are the ones that's going to have to throw a wrench in this chain. We're going to have to break the spokes of this chain that they got, this hamster wheel that they got. We're the ones that's going to have to do it. And that's what I really coach my guys on. I coach my guys on uniting, putting all of the differences aside, because they're broken off into different sects, different gangs, different this, different that, racial, gang wise, everything. And I say at some point in time, you have to realize that where you are right now mentally, that's exactly where they want you, because they understand that as long as you're separating yourselves, you'll never, ever unite. Even with this mail thing that they have going on, this digital mail, and where guys and men and women can't write each other in the system. The biggest lawsuit ever against the state of Texas was the David Ruiz versus Stell lawsuit. It was in the late 70s, early 80s. It totally transformed TDC. It was taken over by the federal system. Wim Wayne Justice was the judge. His name was Wim Wayne Justice. He was the judge over that particular federal suit. But since that time, the guys have lost all of the provisions that was given by Wim Wayne Justice. They've taken them away. They've changed laws. And when they changed those laws, what they were doing was implementing a little bit of systems here and there, to whereas they could take back some of those things, but do it under a different code, a different statute, a different law. I think I spoke to you once before, and I told you now they've got something that's called discretionary mandatory supervision. Well, we both know that discretionary and mandatory, they clash with each other. Anything that's mandatory means no discretion. That's what it means. And at first, that law was called mandatory supervision. It was when the guy's good time, their calendar time, and their work time equaled 100% of their sentence, then they will automatically be released to supervision. Okay. But now they call it discretionary mandatory supervision. They passed that law, and I don't know how they was able to do that. You just can't have discretion in anything that's mandatory. And one of the things that I tell people is that anytime they pass a law and it affects one group of people, you best believe that at some point it's going to affect you, because that's how they dictate what they can do next. They see how the public reacts to this little thing that we do. If the public reacts in a way where they accept it, they're going to continue to implement little bits of laws, and eventually it's going to affect everyone in the public system. And that's exactly, I don't mean this in a derogatory manner, but when they have passed anti-death penalty in effect, when they passed the EPAD, when they passed that law, it was supposed to be just against terrorists, and it was supposed to be for men and women who were on death row, but who were proven guilty beyond a shadow of doubt and had what we would call horrendous offenses. It was so that they couldn't just continue to appeal just to stay alive, after 20 or 30 or 40 years, just to stay alive. But what they did was they put in some clauses, and now an innocent person can file a writ of habeas corpus. That first writ of habeas corpus that an innocent person files, if he don't get the relief sought from that, he's barred from filing another writ of habeas corpus, because that's what that law did. It gave you one shot. From there, you have to, if you don't have any new information or new evidence or whatnot, you're barred from filing. And like I say, it wasn't supposed to be that way. It was supposed to be against terrorists and people that had filed 10, 15, 20% appeals trying to get off of death row. That's what it was for.
But you can believe that they sit back in rooms and they figured out what they was going to do before they did it, to figure out how they was going to make money off of it. Because you can bet that somebody making money off of it. Every bed that's filled, they making money off of it. I'm telling you. That's why they not letting nobody go home. That's why Texas is overflowing. That's why California is overflowing. That's why a lot of these 6 states, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina. That's why all of them are overflowing. The prisons are overflowing. None of those states believe in rehabilitation. None of them believe in hiring. Alabama right now have a $45 million lawsuit, I think, against them, where they have used these inmates. They've sent these inmates out to work real jobs at Burger King, McDonald's, and different places where they've worked, and they've gotten paid $2 to perform weeks worth of work, or $2 for a day worth of work, or however. They made millions of dollars off of them, and now they have a class action lawsuit against them because of what they done. And that's a lot of states that are doing the same thing. They packing them up, putting them on these buses, taking them to these plants, and allowing them to work beside regular people. And these regular people getting paid, and somebody making that money, because they ain't clocking in for nothing. They ain't signing out from them time sheets for nothing. They ain't doing it for nothing. Somebody getting paid. And where's the money going?
Yeah.
Where's the money going?
Yeah. And Angela,
really, where's the money going? Because
where's it going?
These prisons are run down. I hear every single day of how they understaff. You tell me how you can effectively run a prison with 12 guards, and you got almost 3,000 inmates. How can you effectively run a prison with 12 guards? You can't. But that's what I'm hearing over and over about these different things. And Ron Reynolds, Carlos Sherman, Sheila Jackson Lee, Monica Dela Cruz, Jeff Leach, and all these other representatives that sitting on their butt and doing nothing about it.
Nothing about
because they ain't getting on their governor, because their governor can issue an executive order, and all eligible inmates can be released.
Yes.
If they eligible, they can be released. If they you got people in there, not to mention all these folks they got in there that's wrongfully incarcerated. We ain't even gonna talk about them. But the people that's been in there, I look at this and I'm just putting a pattern together and just kind of trying to think, because I'm in my 40s. I'm almost 50 years old. And to think that a lot of these people have been incarcerated 20, 30, and 40 years. A lot of them. Every last one of them that come on my show, every last one of them have been incarcerated at least 20 years. Now you tell me, and then you hear their ages. All of them about my age. And you've been incarcerated that long, and you not finna offend again. But these people don't believe that, because they don't believe in rehabilitation. So they, of course, they don't know if these people gonna offend again or not. They don't care. They don't care. And I'm just it just bothers me, because you talk about people that's been there 20, 30, 40 years. So these people got to be in their 40s, they late 40s, they 50s, they 60s, some of them probably in their 70s. What is they gonna do when they come back out on these streets?
Yeah, exactly.
Who and half of them been locked up to where these people just want to come out and live what little bit of life they have left.
That's all they want.
They just want to enjoy, because they've taken so much away from them.
Yeah.
They've taken so much away. I listen to these juveniles. You talking about 15, 16, 17-year-olds that they take straight from off the street and put them in these grown-up prisons.
Yeah.
And they won't even give them a chance.
Yeah.
And then you giving these babies more time than you giving these adult criminals that's committing the crimes, and half of them on with somebody when they commit a crime and ain't did nothing, just in the car.
Yeah.
Or didn't even know what was going on.
Didn't know.
But then now they got a capital life sentence.
Yeah.
And they got more time than the person that did it. And then now their lives ruined, and they can't get no relief. Want them to do 40 years before. them babies gonna be 60 years old before they come out. And then
Yeah.
and now the state gonna have to take care of them again. Because guess what? You ain't equipped them. They don't got no trade. You ain't gave them nothing that they can fall back on.
Yeah.
So now what?
Yeah. And
But
Angela,
y'all saying y'all doing what's best for the citizens. Okay,
yeah.
come on.
Yeah, they're not. And you know, and one of the sad things about the programming and the educational system that they have going on there, say for instance, Angela, if you learn a new trade when you get in the system, okay, this is something that's brand new to you. You learn how to do it, how to go about it, and you're proficient in it, okay? And when you're finished up, you finished up. You know, they're not finna give you a job doing any of that in the system, because most times they don't have jobs like that for you, and they've got many more men and women that they want to put in this program. But the thing is that after you finish these programs in this education or this trade, you go up for parole the next time, you're gonna get denied. And then that next year goes around, you're gonna get denied. So what I'm saying is, when you teach these men and women a particular new skill or a new trade, and you continually deny them, and they never get a chance to use this new skill or new trade, then a lot of it they forget. You know, they just simply forget. If you're going to equip them with new skills, new trades, then at least give them the opportunity to use it. And so it just doesn't work sometimes. Excuse me, I am a little bit sick. Okay. Had to get that cough drop. But what I do want to say is that, on a somber note, one of the guys that I was able to help get home about 5 months ago, and he kept in touch with me. He passed away last night, and we was actually working together. He had become basically blind while he was in prison. He was, Robert was 63, 64 years old, diabetic. He'd been in there, you know, several years. I was able to help him make parole. Excuse me, Angela. I was able to help him make parole and get him home. And we had some problems with his address because he owned his house and he, you know, really wasn't anyone there. So we had to work to get him into a house with someone, and then get him into his own house, transfer his parole plan so he could get into his own house. But he passed away last night. He had a stroke, a heart attack stroke. But we were actually working on, while he was in the county jail getting ready to go to TDCJ, they gave him a lethal dose of the wrong insulin. And it wasn't the nurses that was passing out the insulin. It was the guards. And after we tried to get him an attorney, the federal judge threw his case out, and he was getting ready to send me some paperwork on Sunday. And I never heard from him. And then on Monday, his daughter was letting us know that he had a heart attack and a stroke on, I'm going to say Sunday night. And he passed away this morning. And he's a veteran. That's what really gets me is that we have government systems that in place, this criminal injustice system, don't even care about the vets. A lot of the veterans has put their lives on the line, you know, for whatever it was that our government wanted them to go do, you know, whatever it was they sold on them to go and do. And for us to just basically deny them, you know, I mean, they don't do our vets very well on the inside. And that's one of the things that bothers me quite a bit. These people have, you know, did a lot of things for society. They went overseas. I've got one guy that I work with now that I got out. That's one of the things that I do, Angela, is my guys that if they come to this area, parole to this area, once they get out, I do work with them. I'm affiliated with an organization called Unlocking Doors. It's the largest re-entry organization in the state. And I work with them, and we're able to get them, possible job placement. We're able to get them brand new clothing so that they can go and look decent if they got an interview or they want to go do job interviews. We give them real, we're able to get them real clothes, and we get them hooked up with so many things, so many different resources. And, I just wanted to bring that up because I kind of feel that, if our criminal justice system was to do anything, could you at least show us that you want to be better by taking care of our vets? Angela, as when Tanaway was on the program, one of the things he mentioned was the 13th Amendment, which the exception clause of the 13th Amendment. What the exception clause actually teaches us, if you really just look at it, you don't even have to do research, just look at it. What the 13th Amendment actually teaches us is this: slavery was never abolished. It was just given a new name. And that name that they gave it is justice. They took it out of private hands and they put it into public hands, the government system. It's what they did. They just took it, I can't own a slave, you can't own a slave, he or she can't own a slave, but we can. And that's what they did. And then, of course, you remember the convict leasing after they enacted the Jim Crow laws, after the 13th Amendment was passed. And they said, well, unless, of course, you've been duly convicted, And so what I'm getting at is they pulled a fast one on everybody. Other nations know. We're the ones that don't know. The other nations know what's going on here. We're the ones that can't seem to come to terms with the truth. Other nations know that this is a great deception. They fully understand, and they know without a doubt slavery was never abolished. It was never abolished, ever. It was just made government agency. It was just put into the hands of the government. Just because you say I can't own a slave, or he can't own a slave, or she can't own a slave, but we can lock them up and we're going to make sure that everybody who was making money can still make money. It's the same thing. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. All of the corporations and that make money from incarcerated individuals. People would never believe that Victoria's Secret. People would never believe that a lot of the patties from different billion-dollar hamburger corporations, Burger Kings, not Burger Kings, but McDonald's and whatnot. People would never believe that comes from slave labor. It comes from men and women that are making 0 cents an hour to 13, 15, 17 cents an hour. They would never believe that all of those boxes of meat that they ship there for those companies are coming from men and women that are incarcerated. They would never believe it, but they do. So many, there are brooms, there are mops, there are mop buckets, there are garbage disposals, there are beds, there are tables. Texas is known for its furniture factory, and other state systems are known for their furniture factories. They're called furniture factories.
We know, y'all, and definitely mattresses is one of the things that we know about Texas.
Yes. Y'all forgive me.
But yeah, you are so right. And it's just a lot of companies, Starbucks. There's so many companies that you would not believe that were Walmart. A lot of them that get their stuff made, produced, whatever, through the prison system. It used to be a $1 million industry. Now it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry.
Yeah,
and
it's slow.
It's what's the man? Price is Right man. Bob Barker.
Yeah,
he had his hands was in a lot of the prison system.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean that is a known fact. But until we as people wake up and say enough is enough, and we not gonna keep allowing this, and we gonna take our communities back, and we gonna do what they were doing back in the day, because there were a time when prisons were not overflowing with us. There were a time when we were taking care of our communities.
Mm-hmm.
But see, when they brought in all these drugs, see, that's what they did. They brought the drugs in. They brought in all this stuff to see how they can further keep us apart and further separate us, and how they can further bring us down. Because they always got to have something to keep us in competition. They always got to have something that's going to keep us at each other, and wanting to keep up with the Joneses. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. They're going to always, there's always something. But
I was talking.
Texas has they economy. They have one of the highest. They say all of big business, Fortune 500 companies love Texas. I guess they would, because guess what? They can come down there and make billions and billions of dollars off of inmates.
Yeah.
And not have to pay salaries.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I? I would come set up a factory right there. And that's what they do.
Yeah.
And then all this stuff they do, but we as citizens, we sit blindly and we keep voting the same people in office. I've been looking at these people that's in office. How long they've been in these positions. You look at these judges, man, these people get in these positions and they don't leave until they die. Why are we letting people do that?
They don't leave until they die.
Why are we letting people
stay
in a position and they not doing what they supposed to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I ain't from
some
Texas.
of them,
I ain't from
some
Texas.
of them so old. some of them so old, you already know they can't think straight. They can't think straight.
Man, and just so like that man up there in that what's the name? You can stand up and be talking and forget what you're talking about. Come on now. Yeah. You don't need to be in office. And that's what a lot of them need to be out of office. They need Texas need a whole new younger breed. They need some thinkers, some progressive thinkers, some people that is about their business. And they need people that's not gonna be so partial to this side and partial to that side, but they're gonna stand on truth. And they're gonna stand on facts. That's what they need. Because they've been full of corruption for 3-4 decades.
Yeah.
I mean, all that need to be cleared up. And some of these people need to be set free. So I definitely I want to thank you for stopping by and sharing with us on tonight. Before we leave, if you would share with those that are tuned in and those that will hear the replay, how they can reach out to you and support the things that you're doing.
Well, you can reach out to me, of course, on Facebook under Bryce Todd. I also have a page, Strategic Parole Solutions. I also have my Facebook page, Parole News Magazine. Of course, you can always reach out to me by phone, 817-492-5539. Email mbtjones with a Z 20@gmail.com. You can always go to the websites. Let me move out the way. You can see that website there, www.parolenews.com. You can order the book from there. You can go to the Facebook page, Blueprint for Perfect Lemonade. You can order the book from there as well. And I just ask that everyone just come over and visit. You'll like some of the content. I'm going to get more active. Queen, just as soon as I can get past these holidays, I really do. I know that we have something that we have to do together. I believe Cornell is a little upset with me. He'll just have to forgive me. I'm talking about Mr. Drummer. He'll just have to forgive me for the moment, but I've kind of put a lot on my plate. and I'm taking some things off now. But other than that, I'm going to move forward this year. I'm going to really crank up things with the Parole News magazine. I'm going to crank up things when it comes to strategic paroles. And I'm going to be working side by side with Tanaway as much as possible. Just needing to get past this next week. And I'm not saying 2024 is the big start for anything new, but I need to get past these holidays. I am a father, grandfather, and husband. And so I just need to get past these holidays, and I'm going to get some things really moving fast.
Well, I definitely want to thank you for stopping by. I definitely holidays are the holidays.
Yeah.
But y'all be safe, enjoy your holidays, and definitely y'all, if y'all would remember those that are incarcerated, because during the holidays it can be really rough for them. A lot of them could feel hopeless, they could feel underappreciated, underloved, and all of that. I tell you, we just dropped a book for the queens called The Forgotten Queens, and I've been sharing it with some of the ladies that's locked up. I actually sent out some copies, but those that are a part of it, they have been purchasing their copies, and they've been reading it, and been sharing how inspirational it is. I'm just glad to be able to be a light to somebody during this holiday season. So if y'all would please just remember someone that is incarcerated. If you got to write them a letter, if you can e-message them. But just remember them. Send up some prayers. Send some good vibes. But again, I wish you a happy, safe holiday season, and thank you for stopping by and sharing with us. All of the listeners, I want to thank you guys for tuning in on tonight. Y'all, I have 3 more shows and I will be done. I tell you, this season has truly been a blessing to many. I thank God for the 6 amazing hosts that have truly rolled it out with me. Y'all, we started off with, I think we had about 12 in the beginning, but we have 6 ride or dies that have truly rolled it out and stuck it out, and they truly believe in what they're doing and sharing their perspective. I say, in order for change to come, you have to be the change that you desire in this world. So we have decided to be the change that we want to see. So y'all, we'll be back tomorrow night. Black Diamond will be on tomorrow night. So make sure that you tune in for Basic Black After Dark. Y'all have a good night. The Queen loves you, and guess what? There's not one single thing you can do about it. Y'all have a great night.